Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Contest of Champions. Today we're going to be hitting up the third installment of the Hidden Gems series, and for this one we're going Mystic. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, Mordo, oh wow, you know, how is he a hidden gem? Well, I'm not going to be talking about defensive Mordo, who has been a boss for the longest time in the Alliance Wars. Starting to not be so much once people start to figure out how to work around him. But I'm going to be talking about Offensive Mordo, someone that probably a lot of you don't even think about in that capacity. And I didn't for the longest time either until I started looking into his abilities, how they worked, and what we could actually do with them. So let's jump right into the abilities. First off, signature ability. Doesn't really matter unless you're putting him on Alliance Wars for defense anyway. By conjuring a magical barrier, Mordo gains 7,149.62 energy resist while he remains blocking. Like I said, this is purely a defensive thing. I mean, it could come in handy if you're doing fights against characters that only use energy, but and there's a lot of them in the game. But it's not the key aspects of what play into the character himself as far as using him on offense is for me. Passive. Mordo's astral form ensures that every ability properly activates, resisting against ability accuracy effects. This is where the key thing where you stunning him comes into play, where it doesn't work again, their offensive ability. Every 8 seconds, Mordo gets 1 bar of power over 5 seconds. While the power gain is active, opponents can interrupt it by landing a hit on Mordo. Now, this is one of the ones that I like, especially for offense, because you can get to your L1 pretty quickly every time that he goes into this thing. And the L1, his level 1 attack, is exactly where you want to use Mordo the most on offensive purposes. When stunned, even while stunned, Mordo's astral form senses incoming non-special attacks and quickly counteracts, inflicting degeneration for 9.18.4 direct damage over 2.5 seconds, or 2.5, so not 2.5, 2.5 seconds. That in itself, that's another defensive property for him, but the degeneration is a huge thing. Once we start to actually get into what really makes him really good on offense, and we're starting to get to that point right now with the heavy attacks. A lot of people are really keen on using Quake because of the fact that you can sit and hold her heavy attack and it builds up the concussions or whatever the hell it is. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I could be right, I'm probably wrong. That trigger the aftershocks for her to start doing damage on the fact that all you do is hold heavy attacks. Mordo works around about the same way in the same instance here. Heavy attacks. Mordo gains 16.6% of max power per second while below 1 power bar. So when you're holding a heavy attack, you're building towards your L1 the longer you're holding it. And exponentially gains up to 10 Fury stacks while charging a heavy attack. Each charge increases his attack by 172.2. Doesn't sound like a lot, right? Does not sound like a lot, but 172.2 times 10, and that gives you 1,722 if you have the full 10 stacks up. I mean, that's a lot of damage with 10 Fury stacks up, and it literally takes no time whatsoever to charge those Fury stacks either. Like less than a second, I think, or around about that area. We'll see from the footage above where I usually throw in things, but that's the key aspect of this. And I love it too because of the fact that a lot of times whenever Mordo has the 10 stacks of Fury up, you're usually getting close to about the same number of damage off of his normal hits that you would off of any other medium class, middle of the road type of character, or even the bigger upper tier class characters in the game when they put off a special attack and it doesn't crit. You're getting about those same numbers in the thousands usually 700s, you know, upwards to 1,000s when they crit, of Mordo's actual regular punches. His actual regular hits are doing that amount of damage. And I think that's absolutely insane and overlooked because of the fact that people think you can't charge his fury attacks. You just use the heavy attack once, and then you use the heavy attack twice. It doesn't work the way Phoenix does. It works exactly the same way that Quake does, which is what I really like about it. And then we get into the one like key feature that I absolutely love, the special one attack. 30% chance to stun is really cool. Like, I don't think a lot of people pay attention to the fact that Mordo can actually stun. But causes degeneration, which, as far as I know, there are no degeneration immune characters in this game whatsoever. So this has an effect on every single character in the game, inflicting 918.4 direct damage over 2.5 seconds. If the opponent has a buff, degeneration will activate even after a successful block. So this, you can proc his L1 even if you're going up against a character that's blocking, if they have a buff on. Say you're up against a Thor, and this is one that I absolutely love, like running rampant on in arenas with Mordo, is if he has a Fury buff up, which he will, you know, if you parry stun him, he comes out of it, he's got a Fury buff up, proc the L1, doesn't matter if he's blocking or he takes the hit, he's still going to get degeneration. And, like I said, it causes degeneration, inflicting 918.4 direct damage. With the 10 Fury stacks, I have seen the degeneration get up to over 500 per tick, and that lasts for 2.5 seconds. So, I mean, it's just like tick, 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 tick down. It's absolutely insane. You don't have to technically get into the special 2 attack or the special 3 attack. However, the special 3 attack could come in handy if you're doing like the longer quest lines and you potentially want to build Mordo's health back up. So let's take a look at special attack 2. Opponents suffer from Mordo's Soul Barb spell for 14 seconds, dealing 137.76 energy damage per opponent buff per second. Additionally, Soul Barb reduces health recovery by 70%. This is really good against characters that have, like, you know, massive regens. It could work against, or lots of buffs, like a character like Groot, who can regen and has tons of buffs. A character like King Groot, or characters like Wolverine, or things of that nature. Those are the ones you kind of want to use the L2 on. I still think the L1 works 100 times better than the L2, but it's really a personal preference thing. They still do a ton of damage in my opinion. Special attack 3. Gain 3 Fury stacks, each increasing his attack by 574 for 12 seconds. So that gives you a longer duration on the Fury stacks that you could possibly already have. And up to 40% chance based on health lost to regenerate instead of gaining a Fury stack, recovering 2,349 health in 6 seconds. So, like I said, you know, let's say that you're doing the long fight. You know, you're doing quests and you want to try and potentially regen Mordo. If you proc that L3 during the fight after losing so much health, you have a 40% chance to regen. Not exactly the best possibility in the world. There's a 60% chance that you're not going to. But even if you don't, the 3 Fury stacks are pretty awesome in and of themselves. And this is one of the key reasons why I think that Mordo is such a really good offensive character that just really gets overlooked. I mean, if you can constantly keep him up to the 10 Fury stacks, you're potentially doing the same amount of damage with him that you do off of most characters whenever they hit their special attacks. So any level attack for that matter. I think he's a really, really underrated character as far as offensive abilities go. And with the fact that people are starting to become really aware of how to fight him a lot more easily when it comes to Alliance Wars, I've seen a lot of people not taking as much damage from him, or not losing characters from him the way that they used to, now that you've kind of figured out how to fight him in Alliance Wars. This is another option, because I know a lot of people already have him rank 5 like I do. I still like putting him in Alliance Wars, but if potentially at some point, they're like, don't throw him on Alliance Wars in defense anymore, this gives you another option to be able to use him in other aspects of the game. Try him out sometime. Try out the way that I'm like explaining how to play with him in the aspect of just, charging those 10 Fury stacks up, keeping them up constantly, using the degen off the special 1 to your ability, the best of your ability, and look at how much damage he actually does from his actual hits, plus the like 500 plus that he does off each tick from having the degeneration up. And you should be able to keep a constant degeneration up with the way that he has power gain and the way that he can power gain off of holding the heavy attack. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this like informs you a little bit more on some of the aspects of Mordo offensively that you just didn't know about. And that's going to be it for this Hidden Gem series, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, remember to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, consider leaving a sub on it. And if you do, hit that bell notification button so that you get notifications every single time I go live or post a video. Or link down in the description below for Twitter. Much more reliable source of notifications as far as I'm concerned over top of YouTube. As always, guys, I'll catch you in the next episode. Later.